Hello, this is the Ramblings of an Indisciplined Mind podcast for Wednesday, September 7th, 2016. As of this recording, Sierra is still missing. So I just saw breaking news, literally. Apple has announced their iPhone 7 and it will not have a headphone jack. So just another reason why I won't be getting an Apple. Apparently, new wired headphones will go through the Lightning jack, which is their proprietary power jack, and of course Bluetooth. Although I'm kind of wondering if their next step isn't going to be to create their own flavor of Bluetooth, so that if you want to connect a wireless device, like these things I got on here, if you're watching the video, I got one of these Bluetooth headsets on, you got to buy an Apple one. But that's not my main topic for today. That was just something I noticed. It made me go, I've watched a couple of video game walkthroughs, partials. I haven't watched the whole thing. For a game called The Witness. And as it turns out, talking about this game is pretty topical. I didn't realize how topical. So it's a puzzle-based game. And it starts off fairly stark. I mean, you are literally in this tunnel, and you can see light in a doorway on the far side. And you have to solve a puzzle to open a door. So the puzzles are all, at least the ones I saw. I've probably watched about 45 minutes of gameplay, depending on who's playing. But you get to the end of this hallway, and there's a door and the puzzle. And the puzzle is just this line with a bigger circle on one end. And what you have to do is you have to put your cursor at the bigger circle, and drag it over, and a white line happens. And once you get to the end, then you've solved the puzzle, and the door opens. So this is obviously just kind of teaching you the mechanics of it, because it's just a straight line. The next one, you go through like this little cave kind of. There's another door with a puzzle, and this one's a 90-degree angle. Same thing, drag the thing from one to the other, from the big circle to the other end, and you open the door. So at this point, it hasn't been very visually interesting, and you're just getting a sense of what the things are like. And then the door opens, and you are surrounded by color. You are in a series of ruins that still look beautiful, even though the ruins. I mean, you got walls that stop at some point and whatnot. But the world is of such bright, vibrant color. It's really pretty. It's just amazing how attractive this game is, and it's a very unique color palette. I mean, it's not pastels, but it is just really strong and vibrant colors. So at one point there's trees, and they got yellow leaves, and they just are bright as heck. And it just gives it a very unique look. So you're in this place, and you're in what might have been, I don't know, a home or a castle or something, back in the day. And you've got more of these puzzles sitting around. And these are still fairly easy. They get more complicated. You got to find a path, and there's always a starting point, which is a bigger circle, and then you've got an ending point, and you've got to find your way. But what's different about it is there is a gate that's closed and locked, and there is another puzzle there, and it's covered by these three pieces of metal, and attached to these three pieces of metal are these three wires. So what you have to do is you follow the wires, and you find a puzzle, and when you solve that puzzle, it will put power to that wire, and it glows bright yellow. And sometimes you got to do multiples to get to the end of one wire. So once you've solved all the puzzles in an area, then all three of those metal pieces are out of the way, and now you can solve the puzzle for to open up the gate, so you can get out and get to the next area. And so it's an interesting game. One of the things that kind of sets it apart is beyond the aesthetic beauty of it, it's really cool. The physics of the shadows. Like at one point, if you turn in a certain direction where the sun's behind you, even though it's a first person game, you never see yourself, but you can see your shadow, and so you can see your shadow there, as if the sun was at, I don't know if time passes, but as if the sun was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that. It's very easily identified as, oh, you're a person, and you take up physical space. Even though you never see anything that is, you don't see like a hand in the frame, and there's no dialogue, there's no story that's really told to you in any way, shape, or form, which is kind of different. And then you get to this area. Once you get past that gate, you get to this area where there's all these puzzles that are in different areas, but you don't know. There's a number of them there where you don't know what they do. So they got a couple places where they got this set of these little square panels with these different puzzles on them, and one of them you got to find. One of them would have a collection of white dots and black dots, and so you have to find a path to get to the end where all of the white dots and all the black dots are separated. They can't be on the same side of the line. And you had like 5 of those, and then you had another set of panels where you had maybe 7 or 8 of them, or something kind of similar. But the problem was you could go ahead and do those, and both the people I watched did, but there was no wire leading away from that to tell you what were those for. And you're wondering just what the point is of doing this. I mean, there's a ton of puzzles to do, and you can see some puzzles activate certain things, but as far as what the overall purpose is, in a lot of ways is left for you to figure out. There are something in the neighborhood of, according to the reading I've done, 640 puzzles in this game. Apparently you don't have to do all of them to win the game. Apparently you're working your way toward this mountain that's at the middle. You're on an island, toward this mountain that's at the middle of the island. And the puzzles aren't timed. Apparently there is an optional challenge once you get to the mountain where the puzzles are timed. But the ones you're doing before you get there are not timed in any way, shape, or form. And you can stand there. If it takes you a while to figure out a path that gets all the white dots on one side and the black dots on one side, you can do that. You can spend your entire time doing that. So if you're looking for a puzzle game that's very pretty, that doesn't hit you with you got to do things in a certain time, the maker of the game says he thinks it's about 80 hours to complete. So I mean, that's like playing through the main mission of like a Skyrim or something. That's a fairly long time. So it's lots of puzzle goodness there, and they do progressively get harder. I probably have seen the equivalent of maybe 2 levels on a normal game, or 3. So they're going to get progressively harder as time goes on. But they have a lot of interesting mechanics. Right now, it is only available for the PlayStation 4 and for PC. It came out in January for those 2 platforms. But what makes this topical is next Tuesday, I think it is, the 17th. That should be the 13th. It will be out for Xbox One. So if you have an Xbox One and you like puzzle games, here's one maybe to put on your list, or download the demo. I'm assuming there'll be a demo on the Xbox One store. And give it a try. But it looks like an interesting game. Since I don't have an Xbox One, I won't be playing it, but at least not this time. But it does look like something that would be fun to just kind of, when you just want to sit and play a game for an hour, but you don't necessarily want to deal with dialogue and story and plot and battles and whatnot. This might be a good contender. But that's really all I have to talk about today. I will be back tomorrow. I'll be talking to you then. So, be seeing you.